Back in 2012, a friend and fellow minister approached me and encouraged me to pray about planting a Reformed, confessional, and Presbyterian church in Charleston, South Carolina, an area that is booming with growth from around the country and the world. And Marla and I prayed about it in earnest. It was my 10th year in a church that we deeply loved, Grace Presbyterian Church in Douglasville, Georgia. And the Lord was blessing that work, and we were wanting to be cautious and careful and prayerful about whether or not to move forward with this possibility. And so after much prayer and counsel, we moved forward and began to speak with fellow ministers and churches about whether or not they'd be willing to get behind the work financially. And there was an outpouring of encouragement and financial support. It was very overwhelming, and the Lord answered prayers like I've never seen before in my own life. And He really made it clear that we were supposed to walk through this door. And the last 7 years have only proven that. We launched this work back in 2013. 3 years later, we particularized and became an official church of the Presbyterian Church of America with ordained elders that were trained and ordained in our congregation. And now we have a wonderful group of deacons and additional elders that are serving. And we've seen the Lord bless in tremendous ways over the last 7 years. And right now we are in a wonderful and exciting season in our life of our church as we move into a new facility. We have leased a facility for 5 to 8 years over off of Long Point Road in Mount Pleasant. It's in the very artery of Mount Pleasant, and where there's a major freeway, I-526, that takes people all around Charleston and makes it very accessible. And we are seeing many visitors coming. We're in a new season of growth and encouragement, and we're in a renovation project over at this new facility. It was an old design center, and it needed to be refitted to be suitable for worship, nurseries, classrooms, offices, and these kinds of things. And so this 8,000 square foot facility is currently under a large-scale renovation project. And we're hoping that this is going to be completed by October. That's what the builders and contractors are telling us. And so we're very encouraged that just a few weeks' time, we will be worshiping in this new space. Everything's going to be new. New chairs, new instruments, new pulpit furniture, new classrooms, new nurseries, new fellowship space. It is going to be fantastic. And what I want to encourage you to think about is, if you've been impacted by the ministry of Christ Church, perhaps you're a former member or someone who's visited or someone who has been much encouraged by the online ministries of Christ Church, I want to encourage you to pray about giving towards this renovation project. It's about a $420,000 project, and you could help us to pay for this project, to not be burdened or strapped by this large cost. We have, even after beginning this project earlier in the year, before the COVID hit, we had experienced a downturn in our giving because of many families who have had to move away because of job opportunities or finishing up study programs at MUSC or fellowships that they were engaged in. And then the COVID hit, and of course, without having any in-person meetings for months, that greatly restricted our receiving of new families. And so you could really help us by giving generously towards this project. The Lord loves a cheerful giver, and the Lord has blessed some with extraordinary expendable income that's able to serve the kingdom. And this is the best investment you could make. No investment on Wall Street or in the temporal things of this world will compare to investing in the work of the kingdom and the Great Commission to make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, and teaching them all that Christ commanded. Would you join us in doing this? And if you do desire to give, you can go on our website, christchurchcharleston.org. There's an online giving option there. You can let us know what you're giving towards, or you can send a check to our P.O. box. And of course, that may be found on our website as well. Thank you so much for your prayers. Thank you so much for your generous support. And would you join us as we seek to proclaim the gospel faithfully to Charleston and the world for God's glory and for the salvation of his people?